Tampa Bay. It's a huge divisional game for the Bucks. It's a huge week for the Lightning. You're in the Sports Lounge.
And now, you're tuned into Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
What is going on? My name is Eureka Wheeler, and you are tuned in to the best, two of the biggest sports fans in this are guiding you along this beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. And to do that, the guy holding the steering wheel over there, his name is Chris Glazier. What's good, buddy?
Feeling good, man. Feels good to have the lounge back here. Be able to talk some Bucks football. Had to work for the man a little bit the past couple weekends, but it feels good to be back here and ready to talk some Bucks football. It is a beautiful day here in the Bay. Big game lined up today for the Bucks. Pretty much almost a season on the line here, so ready to get into it.
Oh yeah. Look, there's a lot that went on this week in Tampa Bay sports, and we're going to get into a lot of that. You can see on the side of the screen there. We're going to talk Bucks Falcons. We're going to give you our predictions. We're going to talk with the Lightning, who had a wonderful week this week. The Rowdies made kind of a perplexing move. I'll get into that, and then of course we will talk our bets of the week, our pro wrestlers of the week, and I'm going to open up some brand new sports cards. So tons and tons of cool fun stuff to do. But first, Chris, buddy, it's Falcons game day against the Bucks, and they are on the road. The Bucks lost the last time that we played this huge matchup here, and this is a playoff type situation. Look, if the Bucks win this game, then it's straight to the top of the division. They hold their destiny in their hands, and they're pretty much smooth sailing with the rest of the schedule. That it looks like if we win this game, it's really up to them to win the division. But Chris, if they lose, they're now multiple games behind the Falcons, and let's be honest, dude, they're not getting a wild card spot. It's division or bust.
I think so.
So I guess the first question is, Atlanta beat us 16-13 last time at Ray J. What's one big thing you think is different this time around?
I think the offense has improved. I think we're a little more settled in on the play calling. To me, it looks like the offense has gotten better the past couple of weeks. I think it's still a little bit of a slow start for me, but I'm seeing a lot. The play calling is getting better now. I feel like Rashad White's getting more involved in the passing game as well. He's top in the league in receiving yards for running backs. He's really stepped up. I think just offensive wise, I think we're going to be a lot better today than we were when we played them at home. A little smoother today, maybe not so bumpy. And especially the matchup like this, where the Bucks have to win this game, in my opinion. This is the season right here to me. If I'm a Bucks fan, right, we got to win the division, like you talked about. I don't think we make it in as a wild card. Bucks still have a high percentage of making it in, according to Pro Football Focus. So I think if we can win this game, and we still got another game against the Saints and Carolina again, I think the Bucks got a really good shot at actually winning the division if we can take this game and actually making the playoffs, which is kind of crazy to say. So today, I think to me the offense is going to be better, right? It's indoors, no weather issues. Baker, I expect him to have a decent game today. I think Baker's played well. He's done his role. So I think the offense is a lot better than we were this week when we played them last time at home.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is the biggest difference is the Bucks aren't exactly the same team they were when they played, and in good ways and bad ways. We'll get into some of it deeper, but offensively, I think is the biggest improvement that they've made since that last game against the Falcons is that, and we'll get into some specific things why I think there might be some good matchups on that, but overall, the running game has been way better. Now that's that's relative. I wouldn't say it's good, but it is better than it was. And the last game was a one mistake, one kind of thing going our way, and we would have been in a better position to win that game. So let's talk about what was the strength at the time, and maybe they've kind of gone the opposite of the offense, though. Let's talk about the defense. Levante David is back for this game, so I'm hoping Devin White will actually play well. We've been kind of low on him for the last month and a half, but not having Levante David has been kind of a catalyst to not seeing a good Devin White. But what do you think the Bucks defense is going to look like against the Atlanta offense, which has some firepower of their own that they didn't have the last time?
I think If I'm not mistaken, I think White is out for the game. I
Oh,
know
let me.
Dean is. I believe White is confirmed out as well. I'm not
I might
100.
be wrong. Yeah,
I know Vea is a game time decision as well. So I think if Vea doesn't
yes,
play,
yeah. White
is
is out and
White
Dean
is
is
out,
out.
right? And Dean, right?
Correct.
Okay, so if
Yes.
that's going to be a problem right there for sure. We're getting Levante back, but at how healthy is he really? Is this just a game where Levante's sucking it up and playing, and because that's what Levante does, right?
I
He's
think
always
he's
done that.
ready to go. If he's
I think
back,
so.
if he's yeah,
But there's always those question marks coming off an injury. How sore how sore is he? How game
true.
time ready? But I think it's a big game, so he's definitely going to play. I think Vea being out, if he's a game time decision and Vea doesn't play, we're going to have a big problem in the run defense, and that's because Bijan Robinson, he had one carry the last time we played. I think Robinson's getting
Correct.
a lot more involved now.
Correct.
Algier and Robinson seem to be splitting carries. So and last week the rush defense was we were down to safeties playing linebackers last week because of injuries. So getting Levante back is huge here. But if Vea's out, that's going to be a big thing to watch in this game because I would expect a lot of carries from Bijan and a lot of carries from Algier here going into this game if Vea is out, which I think they're leaning towards it. I know I saw game time decision, so that's a big factor in this game if Vea doesn't play. But Canty's played well, man. Great first round draft pick right there by Lick so far. So if Canty can step up and have a big game, that's going to be huge for us.
Yeah, I think Atlanta, their biggest difference in this game is they are going to pummel us with Bijan Robinson.
I think he's
But here's the thing. I think that our defense has an opportunity to have a bounce back game. If Vea, it would be huge if he was in there, but Atlanta's banged up at O-line. Their center and their right tackle are both either questionable, if not, they do have knocks on them. And so Atlanta might not run the ball as well as they want to. And our defense hasn't been the brick wall that it was early in the season. They've given up 31 points a game over the last 3 road trips to Indianapolis, San Francisco, and Houston. Now, Houston was like that big shootout, but still 27 points, 30-something points. That is not a recipe for success today. And so that having White back, if Vea can at least play a number of, big snaps and things like that, I think they can make them one-dimensional. The defense can make Atlanta put the ball into Ritter's hands, and I don't think that's a recipe for success for Atlanta. So the one thing I did want to say about the defense too, or ask you about, is like even though they have been giving up points, they are still creating takeaways. They are getting turnovers. Antoine Winfield Jr. might be able to force a fumble or snag an interception. I think he's a huge playmaker in this game, because if somehow the front seven can make this a one-dimensional game and they have to go through the air, with Dean being out and things like that, that might be a sore spot that they want to exploit. And if they're taking away Bijan Robinson, if they're taking away that running game, and we have to go to the air against the Bucs defense, how do you think a guy like AWJ or some of the other secondary is going to do today?
I think we'll be fine. I'm not too concerned about the pass defense today. I'm not really scared of Atlanta's pass game. I think as long as we can contain Drake London, who's their big play home run guy, usually gets a couple shots a game from Riddler deep. If we can cover that, I think we're fine in the deep ball. I expect a good game from Yaya, man. Yaya's now the starter. JTS his snap count has gone down. Yaya has been a great pickup in the draft this year, man. 5 sacks. I think that's going to be the difference in this game. He had 1 sack, 1 tackle in the first time we played Atlanta. So I think Yaya actually getting the start this game, watch out for him, man. That dude's on a tear. I expect him to get pressure on Riddler today if they do have to pass the ball. And if this does become a shootout, to me, it favors the Bucs. I like our weapons better. Godwin's been, we know the issues going on with Godwin and his wife and all that, talking about bowels. So I expect Godwin to be more involved today with the issues they got going on. Evans has just been on a tear. I mean, you can't stop MK13 right now. I don't care who you are. You're not. He's on a tear. I expect a touchdown from him today. So if it gets into a shootout, I trust this offense enough. I know Baker's been bashed for certain things, but I think Baker's done his job. Yes, he's turned the ball over. Yes, he's made some bad throws, but where we're at right now is I think everyone thought we would be right now, right? Hovering around this range of close to 500, kind of a mediocre average team. This is what I expected with this team when you got a quarterback like Baker in there, but he's keeping us in games. We still have a shot at the division. So I think the defense today, I expect a big game from Yaya, because he didn't play. Like I said, he didn't play a lot the first week we played Atlanta. So I think Diaby has a big game today, and I think that has a good impact and helps us get the win today.
Yeah, on offense, Chris Godwin always does well against Atlanta, and I'm sure his wife and all of us will be happy to see him thrown to early and often. Agree with you 100%. Mike Evans is having another good season, just eclipsed 1,000 yards for the unprecedented 10th straight season.
Hall of Fame, baby.
Here in the comments here, Matthew Gannon, I could Google it, but I'd rather hear y'all. What's going on with Godwin? So this was crazy because, his wife, put out the thing about, they said he was injured and that's why they didn't play him as much. That was a response to a question by a journalist, but the facts put out by the wife were like, he played the same amount of snaps. I just think the coach said the wrong thing and they doubled down on stupid, and instead of being like, just
for sure,
he threw out a number or he threw out a thing, and it's one of those heat of the moment kind of things, and then it became a blow up thing because the wife was like, check the receipt, and I'm like, okay. I hope it, like, to me, I haven't thought about it. I saw it when it blew up on social media, and then I shut my phone off and touched grass, and I moved on with my life. I don't know if the whole internet is the only thing they've been talking about for the last 5 days, but hope that it is a nothing burger, and when he has 12 targets today, that no one will worry about it. So that's what I hope is up with Gannon, or Godwin, but Rachaad White is the other guy I want to talk about. Finally got over 75 yards in 2 straight games, 100 yards a couple weeks ago, 84 yards last week. And Atlanta is missing Grady Jarrett on that D line. So it's been an upward trajectory for the offense. I think the offensive line has definitely been the catalyst. We've been heaping a lot of criticism on them the first part of the season, and now I think it's time to give them their flowers, and they have an opportunity here to get nasty, to move some people and get a win in the trenches, man. How do you think the run game, now we talked about Evans and we talked about Godwin, but to me it is all predicated on the ability to establish Rachaad White and the running game today. How do you think we do that against Atlanta's defense?
Well, the first time we played him, he had 13 carries for 34 yards. So I expect a bigger. I expect a bigger game from White today. He's improved. He's way more involved now. Like I said, the offense has come a long way from that week when we played them, right? So I expect White to get his carries today. Like I said, this is a big division game, so I expect some smart play calls here from Canales, and I'm ready to watch White because he's played well lately. Like I said, even in the receiving game, he's been getting involved. And I think you're looking at 13, 14 carries here for White, easy, maybe even more, depending on the score. Because, like I said, Vegas thinks it's a close game, so it's probably going to be a close game. It is a division game. So I expect I don't expect a shootout here necessarily. So I think the run game is heavily involved for both teams because Atlanta, like I said, Atlanta's going to want a 2 clock, right? They're going to want to have both running backs involved. We're kind of with White, and it's on White to carry the load here. So I expect him to have a good game. He's gotten in the end zone a couple weeks in a row. So I expect a good game from White here today.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. Look, again, this is a show where we will heap criticism when it's warranted, and we give praise when it is deserved. Rachaad White, we've always said, we kind of said always one-dimensional. He's good great in the pass catching out of the backfield. Now we're finally seeing him hitting a hole and making a guy miss, getting those little things that we had as criticisms earlier, and that's why he's been, I think, a bright spot over the last couple games. And he, again, if that O-line does their job, and Rachaad White, I think, has another opportunity to get over 100 yards today. And because if they don't, look, both defenses want to put the ball in the hands of the quarterbacks. We Desmond Ridder and on the Bucs side, Baker Mayfield. I think Baker is better than Desmond Ridder, obviously. And this game might come down to who makes less mistakes with limited opportunities. I don't think we'll get into predictions here in a second, but I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I think Vegas also thinks it's going to be a low scoring game. And do you think that Baker Mayfield or Desmond Ridder will be put in a position where they're going to have to make, just like last game where it came down to the last drive of the game? And are you confident if Baker's got the ball with 2 minutes to go that the Bucs can pull this out?
perfectly confident in Baker to pull it out if he needs to in a last minute, 2 minute, 3 minute drive of the game. Like I said, I've talked about it all year. I think the Bucks look really good in hurry up when they do use it. It seems to work. Baker gets in a rhythm. We got good weapons out there. It seems to work when the Bucks go hurry up. So if it was clutch time, I think Baker would deliver, especially with his mobility. He's not afraid to put his body on the line to get a first down on a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 late in the game, which is huge. People might not think that, but that's extending the drive and getting a first down from a quarterback taking a big hit over the middle. He's not afraid to go over and dive for those first downs and get them. So if it's at the end of the game, I would much rather have the ball in Baker's hands than Riddler. And I trust this defense with the bend but don't break, right? We're going to give up some scores today probably, but I think at the end of the game, I think the defense would come up clutch against Atlanta. Like I said, you just got to worry about really Drake London on a deep ball and Bijan Robinson out of the backfield. So shut those things down. And I think we got a good shot here today. But I'm perfectly fine with Baker having the ball at the end of the game. Like I said, I think Baker's done his job this year. He's right where I think he should be. He's limited his turnovers. I don't think the losses are necessarily on him. Like I said, this is a whole team game here with the Bucks. So I think Baker had the ball at the end. I'm perfectly fine with it right now.
I think it's a great segue into my next question, which is about, look, this is a team that I don't know if we know who they really are because they have ugly wins and they have bad losses. Today is a surefire clutch neat. You got to come through in the clutch. If you don't get hyped for this game today, I don't know what you're doing in the National Football League. That said, as much as it is a players' league, I think coaching is a huge X factor in this game. We're talking about every single decision, every single moment will matter in this game, or it could. I don't think the Bucks will blow. I don't think they'll get blown out, and I don't think they have enough firepower to blow out the Falcons. So in an evenly matched, you think it's like chess. The pieces are all the same. It's the players making the moves. Coaching has been a question mark to be the most fair that I can be to Todd Bowles. Is I think time management has been an issue. I think play calling and putting that in the hands of Dave Canales has been an issue overall. And I think that discipline has been an issue for this team. Tons of penalties. So in my estimation, any penalty is bad, and every play call will matter, and every second will matter. Every timeout will matter. Do you think that if it comes down to their coach versus Todd Bowles now, could there be more mistakes? Are you confident in Todd Bowles and Dave Canales and all this these play callers that they're going to be able to get the job done in a clutch game today?
That's a tough question, man, because I'd go with the home coach here in the Dome with Arthur Smith, but he's made some dumb decisions himself, limiting Bijan's touches and carries when he's a massive weapon on the field. So I don't know who I'd really give the advantage to here, right? I think, man, the penalties for us are brutal, and I still haven't been a fan of Val's decision making sometimes, but we're still here having a chance at winning the division somehow, some way. And it seems like the team somehow seems to rally around Val's at some point, right?
Yeah.
And the offense, like I said, it's better than it was with the first time we played Atlanta here. I think they're settling in with this new scheme, and I think Canales is opening it up a little more. And when he's doing that, we've seen the offense explode, and we've seen Evans just be unstoppable, and you still got Godwin out there. So I would have to give the coaching heads up to us, I guess, here, but not by much. Maybe it's a little bit, and that's just because I think that the Bucks have a really good chance of winning this game. But if it's another high penalized game where we get a first down long run and it's a holding call, or it's a third down and we get a holding call, like how many times have we seen that stop these Bucks drives and momentum left and right every game? So you got to think, right, at some point, is that going to stop, or is it going to continue to happen? If it continues to happen, then the coaching issues, it's going to be a big problem.
I don't want to hear the words, "We had a good practice," ever again. I just don't want to hear it, because when they lose these ugly games, it becomes, we had it all in preparation and everything. It's just like, well, you didn't. At some point, I don't care if you have it written down in a little script. You got to go out and do it. And you're keeping people on the field if they're making boneheaded penalties. And at some point, it's the depth of this team is very questionable, right? So we understand, like, if there's people that are playing in positions that they shouldn't be playing in, and that's one thing. but they haven't been able to get it done. We haven't been able to figure out. We've been waiting to see this identity of the offense. You brought up a good point. It seems like it's finally heading in the right direction. Okay, and then the defense started out really good. They've kind of regressed. Can we coach them back to their with players that are coming back from injury? Now there's that little less of that excuse. Today, I don't think there's that excuse. You have to go out. You have to execute from all positions, whether that's on the field or with a headset on. So with that said, Mr. Glazier, what is your prediction for this game? Do you see the Bucs winning, or are we talking draft picks next week?
This is it, man. This is it, Bucs fans. This game right here, everybody better tune in. I know it's only Atlanta versus Tampa, but this is for pretty much for the division here. This is a must win for the Bucs. I think there's a couple keys this comes down to, right? Does Vea play? If Vea doesn't play, man, we're in trouble with the run game because I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Robinson and Algier. So the defense is really going to have to step up. We got to stay healthy today. I know that's no one's fault, but man, the defense had a lot of injuries. Let's pray to God we can just stay healthy today and make some good tackles. Tackling is the key in this game too, because they're going to run the ball a lot. They're going to try to wear our guys down, right? Wear and tear, running that ball, getting Algier and Bijan involved. So that's one key to this game. I think the other key to this game is going to be this offense. What are we going to see on offense? Is it going to be a good mix? Is it going to be one of those games where we keep running the ball on 1st and 10 and getting 2 yards and we're in 3rd and long? So if Canales can open up this playbook, hit Evans, hit Godwin, I say score early and score often here, right? This is a big division game. I don't want this to be a close game, but I think it is. But I think the Bucs pull this one out here, 24-21. Vegas thinks it's a close game with giving the Falcons, I think, 1.5, maybe 2. It was somewhere around that line. So it's going to be a close game. It's for the division. Division games are always close no matter what we do. But I think this offense just does just enough to get this done here, right? I think. Sorry, I'm hyped right now. I think this offense does just enough to get this done.
Okay,
and we get the win right here, and Tampa's celebrating on Victory Monday tomorrow, baby.
I tend to be the pessimist of the two of us, unfortunately, but I look at all these little things and I go, if the Bucs play to their top potential, I think they are primed and ready. Now, as much as that optimism is now deflated by my low opinion of some of the coaching decisions and coaching staff and I've seen the ugly, I've seen the high and I've seen the low of this season. And I think that unfortunately, this is one of these ugly games. I always say little things matter. I've said it in one way or another on this show already for the last 23 minutes, but I believe the Bucs can win, and I think they will win 17-13. I am in that, baked into there, pun intended, is a mistake-free game from Baker Mayfield. It's a decent running, and nothing that's no like home runs or anything on the ground, but like a solid 75-yard effort out of the running game, and the defense stepping up and getting a turnover, stopping 3rd downs, keeping the red zone clear for just field goals, things like that, turning touchdowns into field goals when Atlanta is given good field position. All of those things matter to me. I do believe there's going to be a boneheaded thing here and there from the Bucs, and it could flip the script on that, but I believe it's a 4-point difference with the Bucs. I think have the higher potential. I think they have the right motivation. I think they have the best talent of either team on both sides of the ball. I don't think they get to 20 points, but I think they get the W. So
I like it. We're both on the win page. That's huge.
Man.
That's huge.
I'm not hype about it, but I'm like
right.
I'm prepared. I'm ready for the
big game.
The dirtiness of this game.
Yeah.
So my hair, I might pull out all my hair by the 4th quarter, and they might be down 13-10 at the last drive of the game, and they pull it out. But
could be.
So get your antacids ready, guys.
Yep.
But a team that didn't make us reach for the Tums is your Lightning, Chris.
Yeah,
buddy.
Good week.
How about them Bolts, dude?
Good week of hockey.
What a great week. So let's talk about this. The Lightning cap off a successful week, breaking a 4-game losing streak with a 4-0 win over Dallas. I was there. I got last-second tickets. After losing 8-1 2 days earlier, they beat Dallas. Then they beat Pittsburgh at Amalie Arena. Then they go on the road, lose a tough one in Nashville. We'll get into that. And then they rebound to beat Seattle 4-3 in overtime in a exciting game. I mean, it was up and down and left and right. But first, are there kind of big picture thoughts on the Lightning and their 3-1 week this week?
Yeah, man. It's been a roller coaster ride, right? This team has been. Sometimes you're wondering what's going on, then other times
That's literally what we said a month ago. The last time we did
the
a show.
team that yeah, this is the team that we know, right? Obviously, some changes were made in the offseason. Vasi is back now, and I think the thing I saw this week was Vasilevsky was really locked in. You could tell he was zoned in. Phenomenal play from him with a big time shutout after getting just destroyed by Dallas 8-1. Obviously, it's really hard to beat the Lightning. You've seen them in the playoffs twice in a row, or that they're a great rebound team. It's something they've always done really well, and they showed that against Dallas. Here at Amalie Arena. It was a great game. And then we played Pittsburgh, played great against Pittsburgh too in a 3-1 victory.
Yes.
That was another good game. I think we looked really well that whole game. I don't even think Pittsburgh should have scored, but it happens.
Yeah.
And Vasi looked good again. And Cooch is on fire. This is probably the best I've seen Kucherov play. I don't know if he's just healthy.
Yeah.
He got a lot of rest in the offseason finally, but
I'll bring him up in a minute. Yeah.
Phenomenal play from him. Just saying that. And then, the thing is about the Nashville loss, if that wasn't a back-to-back game, it sucks because Vasi was heating up. And I think Vasi's in net for that game on a day off. I think we win that game because I think we played well enough. And I think Johansson let in some weak goals there. McDonough had a weak backhand goal that I think Vasi saves. It sucks because I feel like Vasi was getting he was heating up against Pittsburgh, at home against Dallas, and then we had to go back to back, and unfortunately he had to rest and then come back last night and beat Seattle in a great overtime victory. Kuch looked phenomenal again last night, two goals last night, big overtime winner, and then chirping with the fans in the Seattle crowd after the game. Kuch and Hagel went right over the boards and said something to that guy. If you haven't seen the video, check it out. It's pretty funny, man. Whatever that fan was saying to Kuch, I don't know why you'd say it's one of the greatest players in the league, right? You're just going to fire him up more to go bury a game winner in Seattle. But my thing here with the Bolts is they look good, but we got to put a streak together, right? We can't keep winning 1, losing 3, losing 4, winning 2, losing 3. Here's the thing right now is, right, we have a lot of games played in hand on a lot of teams in our division already. We're 5 games ahead of some teams with games in hand as far as games played. So we're 2 points back of the playoffs, right? But if we played 5 more games than these teams, you got to make up some ground somehow, and that's going to require a winning streak at some point to happen. We're going to have to rip off a 4 or 5 game winning streak at some point to get our points back up, just because of the games played right now. But overall, I think we look good. They're hanging in there, right? They're doing what they should be doing right now. Still plenty of season left, but great week for Lightning fans and Lightning hockey.
Let's talk the big headline, which is Victor Hedman plays his 1,000th NHL game. I mean, this is a guy who, if he's not a Hall of Famer, he's at least a Lightning Ring of Famer or what, a Hall of Famer, if you want to say it. He's meant so much to this franchise as a steadying force, winning awards, winning the Stanley Cups, winning everything. To hit 1,000 games is a huge accomplishment, and we've seen this player grow up in front of our eyes. He's 19 years old when he started playing for. I mean, it's a guy that's probably our same age, but he's been along the ride wearing that lightning bolt, and I hope it continues for his entire career. But words on Victor Hedman, what you've seen from his whole career, but also just what he means to this team right now.
He's someone I think looks really rejuvenated this year as well, along with Cooch. 5 goals, 22 assists. He's got a lot of points. He's up there in top 3 into points and defensemen. I think he's looked really well this year. Like I said, I think maybe between the rest and the offseason is really what guys like him and Cooch needed. Hedman getting up there in age, rest is definitely important for a guy like him, but still out there playing phenomenal hockey night in and night out. He makes some boneheaded plays here and there, but what a great draft pick for Tampa, right? Defenseman. He's played his whole career here, man. Him and Stamkos, Cooch, this has been one heck of a run. And I know Hedman's a really good guy on and off the ice as well. So it's really cool to see him hit that milestone. He hasn't faced the injury bug too much, knock on wood. He's been pretty lucky with stuff like that. But I think so far this year, Hedman looks great as well. So he's definitely back to Norris Trophy form there.
Love it. Kucherov. Okay. You brought him up. Look, last 4 games, 7 points, 4 goals. 3 of them are game-winning goals,
Yeah.
leading the team in shots and time on ice. They've been so after a 4-game losing streak, I think you lean in on your top guys, and they've leaned on him to produce to get out of this hole. What's your thoughts on Kucherov?
Kucherov's made me some money on Hard Rock with these shots on goal, man. He's clearing 3.5 a lot. So big shout out to Cooch. He leads the NHL in shots on goal. He's just this is what I always wanted from Cooch. Just shoot the puck. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like your fancy passes are great, but dude, when you can score like him, just fire away, man.
Yeah.
Why not? Like he ain't being a puck hog. He's doing what Cooch does. You know,
he has 3 assists in the last 4 games. So
Stamkos didn't play last night. Cooch stepped up last night.
Yeah.
So it just phenomenal play from him, man. Like I said, the rest he looks so good this year. You know, I really hope he stays healthy this year, and he just looks. It's so fun to watch him play. When you watch him with the puck, some of the things he does, his vision on the ice, his intensity level, the power play, I believe is 3rd in the league, 2nd in the league. So it's great to see what Kucherov's doing this year. Phenomenal play from him. If you haven't watched the game, and go just watch some highlights of Kucherov this year, man. It's incredible.
Solid. Another player I'll bring up is Anthony Cirelli. Over that same time span, 4 goals, 2 assists. I think he's been killing it. I think he's stepped up in a huge way, especially not having Stammer last game. But as much as Kucherov is killing it, Anthony Cirelli is a guy that is, and it's a fan favorite. We get hype. I mean, the timeline gets on fire when Tony puts it in the net. Thoughts on Cirelli's week?
Cirelli, man, another guy really stepping up. We need those bottom 6 forwards. And he's also on the PK as well. You know, him and Hagel on the PK, man. They're great at stealing the puck, getting those poke checks in there, doing their job. We've seen what Cirelli's capable of, right? It seems like the Lightning players, a lot of them come and go in waves. They have a good streak, and then they're cold for a little bit. And they have a good streak, and then they're cold for a little bit. Now, if Cirelli can keep this up, he can maybe put up, some serious points this year, some serious numbers. Right now, he's heating up. Maybe those lines, that third line's finally gelling together because Nick Paul's been absent completely. So Cirelli's really stepping up, just getting more involved. That's what you want to see from a guy like Cirelli. Also, great in the face-off circle as well.
Flipping the script, I think one of the biggest differences this week was defense. Look, as much as Johansson played out of his mind while Vasi was gone, the defense sometimes was the culprit. We were talking about that roller coaster we've been on. Mm-hmm. But this week, I think Eric Chernak, Mikhail Sergachev, who to be Sergey, man, with that huge contract, people are like, anytime he has a bad streak of games, it reflects very poorly. Yeah. Let's not forget who he is and why he has that contract. I think that both of those guys, top line defenders, stepping up. So I'll get your thoughts on them, but also Calvin DeHaan. Here's a name that not a lot of people might not be familiar with. I know I see his name on a box score, and I'm like, okay, I figure he's a guy at the end, but he had a great week this week. Just looking at the stats here, what am I missing on Calvin DeHaan and also talking about Chernak and Sergachev on defense?
I think you saw some definite changes there in the defense and the way we were playing. They were playing a little aggressive there for a while, leading to a lot of odd man rushes. That's what the Lightning have always tried to do, right? I think with guys like DeHaan now, I think you got to mix up that play style a little bit, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I know Cooper likes to stick to his style of play, but he lets those defensemen run up the boards and really get involved on the offense. And when you do that, a lot of times you're risking those odd man rushes. So a lot of good shots from the point from the Lightning this week with the defense. I think that's key. Just get those pucks on net and get those rebounds, get those deflections, things like that. Anything like that can happen. Guys like Sergachev, like I talked about, even Hedman, they all make mistakes, right? They're human beings. But the thing is, Sergachev is so talented, and it's there, and we all know it's there. He's got a great wrister. I wish he would shoot more, honestly, but he does make dumb mistakes that really make you upset and go, oh, come on, Sergachev, you're better than that. But the talent is still there with Sergachev. It's we traded Jonathan Drouin for him. So overall, the defense much improved on those odd man rushes. I think if we keep this up, you're going to see a little run here from the Lightning. We got to get off this West Coast trip a little bit. We still got to go play
Canadian trip.
Canadian
trip this week.
Canucks, then Oilers.
Yeah.
And then
Calgary.
Flames. I think it's Flames. Yeah. And then
Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary in 4 days.
Yeah. So that's tough. These West Coast trips, the Lightning seem to always have them at the end of the year, every year in December in the West Coast, in Canada. So I think that we finished this trip strong, right? We've struggled on the road, finish this trip strong and keep winning games in overtime. Cause that was a big win last night. Cause OT had been, we've been roughing OT for a while. So that was a big win last night. Big goal from Cooch. Big game overall.
What's your strategy? These are all 9 p.m., 10 p.m. games. What's your strategy to stay up for these things?
I don't. I actually sleep through all of them peacefully, and I wake up and check my phone in the morning because sleep is more important than a hockey game to me. Unless it's playoff time. Playoff time, I'll stay up and do my thing. But with work, I usually sleep during these games. I'll put them on as some background noise, but these 9, 10 o'clock games, I'm like, yeah, I'll just check the phone in the morning and hope we get the win and watch some highlights the next day.
And before we move on, we'll drop into a complete switch. We're not going to get into the Rays a lot, but we do have a comment here. Rays got to get that Glasnow deal done. So, it's 2 big things we'll talk about. One, we just saw Shohei Ohtani, who, even if there was a 1% chance maybe. I had some rumblings that he might want to visit the area. Obviously, he picked Los Angeles Dodgers for 10 years, $700 million. But now that's completely gone, right? The next big ticket item for the Rays is Glasnow. No. So if they extend him, right? They do have another year of control over him. But if they trade him, they need to get a very, 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 very good deal in return. And teams might not feel like they have to do that because the Rays also might not want to pay him the $25 million that he's owed. But to be honest with you, that's a steal right now. Like, the Rays do not have to trade him. And I think that it's in their interest to hold and wait and see if there's a desperate contender at the deadline. Then they can maybe get that haul that all of us, if we're going to get rid of Glasnow, they're going to get this huge haul at that time, not now. I think that right now during this offseason, you're not going to get anywhere near what you would get a little bit later. But at the same time, they don't have to trade him. They could work out a deal. I think the Rays are running the payroll back at a much higher clip this year because they are very confident with the team they have, and with some of the injuries to McClanahan and Springs and all this kind of stuff, you're relying a lot on Eflin if you get rid of Glasnow, and you don't get a proven major leaguer right back. So look, that's a lot going on. But Chris, how would you feel if they trade Glasnow right now? And what would you hope, even if you don't know exactly players or whatever, that's a huge move if you get rid of Tyler Glasnow.
You'd have to get some serious, man. You have to get a serious arm and I think a serious bat too, because the Rays really struggle to hit at clutch time. So I think if you're going to do that, it's got to be someone top tier, 2 top tier guys, maybe even in a draft pick too, because a guy like Glasnow, you definitely want to try to keep around, especially if you're the Rays. We need that ace pitcher. And I know he's coming off the surgery, but I think it's tough with the Rays. You never know what they're going to do with Moneyball. We've seen good guys come and good guys go so fast. So I hope he stays a Ray, though. I like Glasnow. I like the way he pitches, and obviously I'm rooting for him to stay a Ray.
I think the 2 most likely outcomes are, one, they keep him because they are keeping this team together, and there's not like a better alternative or an equal alternative to come in. And I believe that the other outcome is that they do trade him for the best haul that they could get. That's if they believe that there's like a couple other guys that they're able to move into a bulk role. So they don't necessarily go the traditional starter route. They do try to find good, if you can get quality innings out of multiple people, one being a little more like a 4 to 5 inning guy, then they can shift. And it's gotten them this far. You said the word Moneyball. I think that with this core, with this window that's open right now, they're going to spend more money, and that will include keeping a guy like Glasnow. So thank you for the comment. Sure. Again, you guys, we're 40 minutes into this. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and drop those comments. Hit those comments while we're doing it. Even that's a Rays thing. And boom. Here we go. We'll bring this up, Maticus. Davinsky's going to be stretched out. Yeah, I think there's a number of guys. And on RBLR Rays, they talk about this every week. It's here on the channel. There's a lot of decent guys coming out of the pipeline that they've kept after this Rule 5 crunch, that there's different. And our guy, Remy Bunakevitz, he's got articles cooked up. He's been on. I mean, we have some good minds over there at RBLR Rays. I'm very, very, very proud of our coverage over there. So this whole year is going to be really good pitching coverage and things like that. So thank you for the comment. Let's get into our next thing. I'll get into this. Tampa Bay Rowdies made speaking of trades, that would be a surprising trade to get Glasnow out here. JJ Williams is a guy that, if you're not familiar with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, he is our second leading scorer. Came in. He's been, I don't want to say journeyman, but he's a good player that has been on a lot of teams in the USL Championship. We brought him in to be our kind of bigger target man in the box, and he had, I think, 13 goals this year. I mean, top in the league was 20-something. Our number one goal scorer had 19, Cal Jennings. And Jennings and William had developed a insane dynamic duo on the pitch. And it was very surprising to me and to many Rowdies fans when we saw the announcement that he was transferred to the brand new Rhode Island team that is coming into USL Championship. Surprising because USL doesn't disclose the monetary things of like they'll sign guys and we won't know what the contract is. It'll say multi-year deal. I'm like, is that 2 years? Is that 5 years? Is that how much are you paying this guy? And they are not disclosing any of this money. So as far as what we got in return, I literally do not know what we were. I've asked the team. I didn't get a comment on it. I do not know what we have received in return for JJ Williams. But now it opens up a lot of questions. There's way more questions than answers, and I hope the Rowdies are going to answer those questions sooner than later. I mean, there's still a lot of time here in the offseason, but to me, I believe that this is – it doesn't make sense on paper. To be honest with you, JJ Williams, of all accounts, got along with everybody in the locker room. He's a phenomenal player on the pitch, and with a new head coach, I think he would have fit the Robbie Nielsen system fine, but maybe Robbie sees things differently. Maybe there was an opportunity to get some cash out of a proven player. Maybe they took advantage of selling high in this instance. It's like, yeah, it does hurt us to not have JJ Williams, but if we can get a bunch of money and clear up a space for a player that Robbie wants to have in, again, this is just speculation. This is just kind of when you make a move like this is my first thought is make it make sense. And it would make sense if the Rowdies bring in another proven goal scorer or someone that they needed to clear space and get cash for. So keep your eye on that space. The guys at RBLR Rowdies will be covering that in detail, and that's here on the channel. Hit that subscribe button, guys. But Chris, it's your time to shine, baby. I had my soccer time. It's time to talk about bet of the week. Mr. Glazier, entertain us with your bet this week.
So if you don't know, Hard Rock is now live in all of Florida. They also actually installed the devices at the Hard Rock themselves. You can go sports gamble now, craps, roulette. It is all live. We're all good to go in Florida. This is a great time. We've been firing up the group chat, man, dropping some good parlays. We've been hitting on some of these player props. So I put together one today I like. First, we got Sam Laporta at over 46.5 yards. He's at -115 on Hard Rock. I think his target, his volume share, it's against the Bears in a division game. I think he gets just enough targets and yards over the middle of the field. Bears pass defense is subpar. I think you expect a big game from him here today. I think he hits around 60, 70 yards here and clears that 46.5. Next, I got Joe Mixon at anytime touchdown. Love this prop here. Mixon's been getting really involved. The Bengals looked good last week, even with Burrow out. I expected, the game's in Cincinnati today versus another subpar Indianapolis rush defense that allows plenty of touchdowns to running backs. So I like Mixon to score today, receiving or rushing. I think the Bengals put up some points today. I got Metcalf over 4.5 receiving yards here at -120. This is a big game for Seattle and San Fran. I think Seattle is going to be trailing. I expect Metcalf to get the targets. I think he clears just 5. He was lighting it up last week or 2 weeks ago when he played. So I expect Metcalf to get enough targets here to clear 4.5. Then I got Austin Eckler at over 3.5 receptions today. Division game against Denver. It's in San Diego. Eckler's definitely going to be involved in the offense here. I think he gets enough targets and volume share as well just to get 4 receptions. It might be a late game reception, but I think that's going to be a close game, which makes me think Eckler gets it here. Then I got Joel Eriksson Ek. He plays in the Minnesota Wild, over 2.5 shots on goal. He has been money this year. He's only gone under twice on the road all year. Just incredible shot volume from him. He's on the power play one. I like the matchup tonight here as they play Seattle. In Seattle, Seattle just lost to the Lightning last night, so expect some slow legs on the ice. I think Joel clears 2.5 easily. Put $10 on it, pays out 182 plus 1720. It's a solid player prop here, guys. If you want to take it, let's go. Let's get some green today. Loving having the Hard Rock back. Definitely enjoying the chat we got going on here. So let's make some money today, folks.
I love it. I love it. And now let's get into some sports cards.
Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and get ready for another edition of Worthless Sports Card Breaks.
Let's do this. Let's bring this up. I separate these out on our YouTube. If you're watching this as a separated comment, we go with the Sports Lounge live on Sundays. My guy Chris Glazer's up there. And we open up sports cards about, they could be pro wrestling cards last time we did it. They could be old hockey cards. We go old school junk wax. This week, I'm going to open up some Archives baseball that I just saw hit the shelves a few weeks ago. Archives baseball, if you're not familiar with it, Chris, is they do the modern players, but they do them in a number of the old styles of tops. So we'll get into this in a second if I can open this. I, for some reason, didn't bring my knife with me today. But so you can kind of see on the box here, there's like 2001, 1965, which is one of my favorite designs, 1950s design, all throughout history. So it's kind of cool if you like some of those old vintage baseball cards. The idea is it's retro looks on current players. And so I collect pretty much anything that's in that 1965 style. And look at these old school packs. Look at these. Yeah, they hit me right in the retro heart here.
I was gonna say.
So every pack will have like they're I mean, we'll say what, it's like 500-600 people they make cards of. And they kind of split them up, 50 in this style, 50 in that style, 50 in all this stuff. So here's Ramon Laureano of the Oakland A's. This is a 1950s, like 55 or 6. I have to look it up. Francisco Lindor. And I always like these retro where it's like they're like press shot and then an action shot on the same card. Those are cool. Spencer Torkelson. But here we go. This is one of my favorite designs of all time. This is just like Americana, apple pie. You got a really cool like pennant design to it. Clean
flag. Yeah.
One of my favorite fonts. You can see it all over this show, and like this, like all of my artwork on this show is this like really cool sans serif font here. Bryson Scott, Buster Posey, Matt Mervis rookie card, and here is that's a kind of a refractor style of Josh Young rookie card. Pretty cool. Here's 2000 Hunter Brown rookie card and Masataka Yoshida of the Red Sox. Gotta love those rookies. I'm trying to think who the big rookies would be in this set, because it's a little late to put this set out. There's Jared Walsh, Josh Young rookie, Manuel Vargas rookie, Gabriel Moreno rookie, Marcus Stroman, Ronald Acuna Jr. in the 1989. This is another.
Look at that baby face.
It's junk wax, like the originals of these 1989, but another just classic design in these. Ronald Acuna. Here's one of my favorite guys, Paul Goldschmidt of the Cardinals, and Hank Aaron. This is another cool thing is they put these retro players in the style of, for them it'd be a futuristic style.
Right.
It's a little bit of everything, man. I love Archives. It's as a geek, like a card geek like me, man.
Sure.
And they're all like autos and relics. I again, this is worthless sports card breaks, so we'll see if I don't really expect any of these. This is gambling in its own sense, right?
Yep. Never know. Never know. We could pull that one,
some,
baby.
there might be some crazy stuff in here, but I don't expect it. I'm just having it's just fun. Oswald Peraza, Jazz Chisholm Jr., killer guy for the Marlins.
Yep, he played
Juan
really good.
Soto, who just got traded to New York.
Yep.
That's another dude making a boatload of cash. Freddie Freeman for the Dodgers. Brandon Crawford, another killer shortstop. Look at the kid here. Ken Griffey Jr.
Legend.
Dude, I mean,
Greatest swing in baseball.
Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. Eddie Matthews, here's another Hall of Famer. Boom, Eddie Matthews. Ozzie Smith, come on, the Wizard of Oz. Look how beautiful these cards are, buddy. And then Grayson Rodriguez, rookie card. Hell yeah.
Tell you what, Ken Griffey Jr.'s N64 baseball. Oh, man, so many hours into that game. Such a good game.
You played 64. I'm going to go even older. My favorite one of my favorite baseball games of all time, even to this day, and it's still fun to play, is Ken Griffey Jr. Presents on the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
It is just it's a arcade classic style. Like, people that don't even know baseball can play that game, and it's just pitching and hitting and whatever.
Right,
but
easy stuff.
And like each of the teams, they didn't have the Major League Baseball license except for Ken Griffey Jr. Every team, if you look at their rosters, there's a team of like rock stars, there's a team of painters, there's a team of artists. Like if you look at the names on it, it's so cool to go into what players are on what team and the names and who's behind them. That's time worth spending.
For sure.
Adolis Garcia, Lou Gehrig, here we go. Dalton Varsho, Alex A-Rod, little A-Rod action here. We got the kid, now we got A-Rod.
Mariners.
Babe Ruth.
There you go.
Yeah, pretty good. And so the back of these two, this is like this cardboard texture to it. I mean, they feel really, 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 really cool. Matt McClain, Alek Manoah, Will Smith. A few more packs left. If I can get this open.
They got to make it easier open for you, man.
No, it's my problem. I'm the idiot. I'm the idiot, you know? So, and I'm okay with that. I've pretty much come to grips with I'm not good at opening these. Here's Ken Griffey Jr. in that super 90s blue and yellow. Like, oh, man, come on now. Greg Maddox, there's a name. One of the most dominant pitchers of all time.
Easy.
Jordan Walker, big rookie card as a Cardinals fan. Huge rookie card to get. I might be able to sell that for like $5 or something like that right now. We'll see. We'll see what that comes in. Fernando Tatis Jr. with these
crazy whatever that is.
San Diego meets Miami. I don't know. Yeah. Giancarlo Stanton for the Yankees. Stan the man. This is Cardinal Day for me, buddy. I am and I love
loving it. I know you do.
Stan the Man Musial in my favorite style of card. Jaw drop. I don't know I don't know if this is worth money or whatever, but like I'm not getting rid of this card. I'm keeping this bad boy.
Man.
This is in the
Cardinal
PC.
Day.
Holy crap! Look at this, dope. It's so dope. Andres Jimenez and Ian Happ. 2 more packs to go. Michael Bush, Bryce Harper, Byron Buxton, Pablo Lopez, Miguel Cabrera, who is this is one of his final baseball cards ever made of him. Matt Olson, Juan Soto, who is no longer a Padre, Cade Cavelli, and Gunnar Henderson. Here's another rookie card of a solid player.
Absolutely.
And a dude that unfortunately was part of that Orioles team that is the only reason we didn't win the division.
Pretty much.
Man, crazy.
That team was good.
Their run that the Orioles did is just insanity, dude.
It is, yeah.
They're about 2 years sooner than they should have popped out.
For sure.
Nolan Jones of the Rockies. Speaking of jerseys, look at
that.
They
I kind of like that, actually.
they're like ugly but beautiful.
Yeah.
As a former Colorado, well, I'm a native, I guess.
I don't like that actually.
Those are the license plates that they're going after. Here's Luis Robert, Seiya Suzuki, Yover Pagero, Kodai Senga, rookie card, Jackie Robinson in like this comic book style.
That's cool.
This is cool.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, like 1979 style of these.
Right.
Well, that's cool. Adam Wainwright, again, Cardinal Day here, buddy. Waino, just him and Yadier Molina, one of the best catcher pitcher combinations ever. And then Willie Mays. Dude, this is one of the best openings we've done. Like, again,
sure.
Are they worth money? Maybe, but are they cool? Are they awesome? Yes. So with that said, go get some sports cards, have some fun, open up some packs. Maybe you get a hologram, maybe you get a relic, maybe you get an autograph, but definitely you'll get one or two amazing cards for your own personal, or like give them to some kids. If you're only opening cards for the relics and the stuff, give them to some kids. Well, with that said, let's close out our show with one of the favorite things that we finally get to talk about, you and I, huge pro wrestling fans. Let's get into Pro Wrestler of the Week. And before that, we do have a comment. This is kind of funny. Pro Wrestler of the Week. Have you seen the pictures of Brock Lesnar's daughter? Imagine her putting Charlotte in an F5. Buddy, there is no doubt. There is no doubt that is the father of that child.
Oh, yeah, man. Wow. Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, dude, she just set the shot put or discus record at Colorado State.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude,
it's definitely, it's a match.
She is a beast, and he's the beast incarnate. So we'll see. But Mr. Glazier, who was your pro wrestler of the week
this week, man? I got to give it to Christian Cage, man. Dude's really, what a heel run. He's completely elevated the TNT title to almost like main event status with him holding the belt. Yeah. The heel stuff from him right now is just some of his best work he's probably ever done, being able to be himself and put in his own work and his own character into it. And then the match with Edge was it was great. The finish was fine to me. I think that's what you need to do, right? So Edge can get his rematch, and you all know Edge is going to beat Christian at some point. But it's okay for Christian to get that win right there. Save that rematch for a little later down the road, because I think you're going to see this feud go on for a little bit between Christian and Edge, and they're going to try to carry this one out for sure. But just phenomenal stuff from Christian, man. The heel run is classic. It was great when he was here in Tampa talking crap about our sports teams, and we were just in the crowd. We're just in the crowd laughing, enjoying it, because we knew Christian was going to throw shade. But good stuff, man. Really loving Christian right now. Great heel.
So Christian, 100%. I agree with you. I picked a different person, but I'll give you your props on this one. Christian was killing it before Adam Copeland showed up.
Right.
But if Christian doesn't have the run he had over the last couple years now, is that I don't think that Adam Copeland thinks about this. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they always had it in their brain that this is what they would do. But maybe the first idea was to do it over in, WWE. But Christian has just made himself a home, made himself a niche. He's not going for the world title. He's made that TNT title a spotlight right in the middle of the show, which you need all that. You need all of that. You have a 2-hour show, twice a week. You got to have stuff that isn't just the main event. And he is a legend and a main event of his own. And so now that Copeland is in there, I didn't know when they were going to do this storyline. I figured they would start it. I didn't know if they were going to slow burn it, but boy, I am I'm happy that it happened. What a phenomenal him and Copeland on the main event in Canada, in Montreal, doing their thing. Like, the title is secondary to their brotherhood and their their long-term lifetime story that they're having. But now you got new people too. They're elevating Wayne, they're elevating Darby, they're elevating all of the other people involved in their orbit through their very, very, very good storyline that is just naturally there. But I wonder what the future is of that. Like, and what's great is that, like, because they're brother, like because they're so deep with each other, like Copeland, I doubt, like, this is one of those things where you're backstage, you go, hey dude, I need you to hit me as hard as you can. And it's like, if you potato each other, you're just going to laugh. You're going to go back and you're going to be like, dude, you got me on that one, buddy. And it's like, we get to be the beneficiaries of all that. We get to be the ones that these guys want to tell a great story where there's a heel and there's a good guy and a bad guy, and there's love and intrigue and hatred and jealousy and all those things wrapped up, that we get to be the beneficiaries of all that. So that's a very good pick. That's a very good pick. My pick this week was Bryan Danielson. If you haven't been watching the Continental Classic, it's been tailor-made for a person like Bryan Danielson. So many storylines, but his storyline is that he is the unbeatable legend. Like, he was the unquestionable favorite of this kind of a tournament. He's going to go through and have great matches. And I mean, look, he had a great match against Eddie Kingston. That was a killer. Like, so Eddie Kingston on last week's Collision, then he follows that up by having a match with Daniel Garcia. Now, technically, they taped that on Tuesday, but in kayfabe, he had that match on Friday and beats Garcia. Then in storyline, right? In storyline, 24 hours later, has a match against Andrade El Idolo, where Andrade, his own storyline is he will do anything it takes. And it might take everything and anything it takes to beat Bryan Danielson. To me, that's why he's my pro wrestler of the week. He is telling this amazing story. He is living up to those expectations. He is elevating guys like Kingston and Garcia, and he's putting up the legendary type matches that we expect out of this tournament with a guy like Andrade El Idolo, who might be underrated, and who knows if he's going to stick around in AEW. But right now, there's only one more year of full-time Bryan Danielson, and with an injury, he's still delivering on the very high expectations that we have. Your thoughts, sir?
Absolutely, man. I think the Continental Classic's been great. I think it was a great idea from TK. Some of the matches have been shockers, Swerve winning, and then obviously Andrade winning last night over Danielson. I was surprised about that one. I don't even think the crowd saw that one coming, but that just goes to show how this kind of tournament's going to play out, and guys like Danielson in it, and Andrade and Kingston and Mox, and it's a great tournament. If you haven't watched it, no interference, just straight 20 minutes of meat slapping meat, right? It's just guys in there just kicking each other, and
that Roosh versus Moxley match.
Oh man, what a match!
Good Lord,
Roosh is phenomenal, man.
Brody King is looking great.
Yep.
Like, that's like even guys like Jay Lethal that you think they're going to be the guys who take the pins. They're telling these guys are former, like, everyone in this tournament is a former champion of some level or whatever, and they're all in their own ways with their own storylines delivering. There's not a single dud. Briscoe looks great.
That match was awesome. Briscoe.
I mean, dude, everyone in this, even if they're losing or whatever, they're telling the right story, because it's like, it's a sport that matters, and like everybody has stakes. Like, even these guys that are eliminated, they're going to have stakes with it. They could play spoiler. Jay White can't really afford to lose again, and he's got to fight one of these guys that are eliminated. But you don't know. It matters, and it's a story, and it makes sense. So, Chris, what else makes sense is all of you who have listened to this an hour in. Thank you. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you. People dropping in the comments right now during the live show. Yeah, come on. Bring that in, man. We love the discussion. We love all of that. And if there's one more thing you can do, again, like I said, share it. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share it. Share it with a friend. Mr. Glazier, thank you for... We talk lightning. Talk loud. Talk bad. Talk wrestling. Bye. So from all of us here at RBLR Sports, thank you. We'll see you next week. Let's go Bucks.
Big game. Go Bucks, baby.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.